Hey guys, we're back here in the log garden, and I have a couple things that I'm working on back here. First is getting in control of the weeds and the grass, and then I'm putting up, if you can see behind me, I put up this tomato arbor or tomato trellis. So that's just a cattle panel with some T-posts, and of course I spray painted them because I really enjoy how that looks up in the arbor garden. As well as I'm going to take the temperature of the soil in the bean rows because I'd really like to get the beans in. I took a temperature of it this morning and it was just above 60 degrees, but whenever I poked it down all the way the length of the thermometer, it got just a little bit below. And on the seed packets it does say if it isn't above or 60 degrees or above, it can actually damage the germination of the seeds, and I don't want to risk that. I have a long enough growing season that I don't need to risk that, but I would really like to get them in the ground. And so I'm going to go ahead and test the soil temperature again now that it's later in the day. It's probably about 1:30 in the afternoon right now, to see kind of what we're working with. We are still having some cooler temperatures at night, and so I'm scared that that's going to make the soil temperature drop just enough to make it so that the germination goes down. I may try half of a row to see how it does and then kind of go from there. So that's what I've got going on in the log garden right now, and I just thought that I would bring you guys along for the journey. I'm thinking this video is going to be a little bit of this and that I'm doing kind of within the garden. And then it's maybe going to be just a little bit slower. I am struggling with some symptoms, so my brain's not working quite as quickly. I don't have as much energy, but I figured everybody loves a nice, relaxing garden video. I do. You guys all know that already. So I thought I would bring you guys along for the journey. Now, the trellis that I put up earlier is a little crooked, and that's going to bother me quite a bit. So I'm going to try to fix that as much as I can without squashing the cabbages and the broccoli that are under it. I already damaged them a little bit, but I think they'll be okay. But if I don't, if I'm not careful, I'm just gonna snap them off. So, I also have got tomatoes that I'm going to plant along the base of that. I got them from the seed store the other day, and so I'm gonna go ahead and plant those as well. I don't know whether I'm going to do that today, but I'll probably do it in this video. So this is just stuck into the first maybe inch of soil. Now that is going to be kind of the depth that I put the seed, and so I think that's really what matters. If it's going to aid in the germination, it really only has to do with where the seed's actually going to be. But I'm curious, so I'm going to shove it all the way in and see what the soil temperature is even down below. I think that little probe is probably about 4.5 inches. Let's see what it says. So it is dropping. But I think it's going to be okay because our temperatures are supposed to go back up this next week. So I'm hoping that if the top layers of the soil are going to stay warm enough, then it'll be okay. It looks like it's going to be okay. Okay guys, it is the next day. I ran out of time yesterday while planting the beans. So today I'm going to tackle straightening this trellis as well as planting the tomatoes at the bottom of it. I have 9 tomato plants, which I'll show you the tags for. I think that'll just be easier. So I have 9 tomato plants, and I have this trellis set up at the, like a little bit into the row, I guess. And I'll point you guys down here so you can see. So you see how I still have like some space between the end of the garden. I'm gonna plant some basil and some marigolds down there, and so in hopes to protect the tomatoes from pests, as well as I think that it'll just be beautiful. So that is what the plan is. So first I'm going to go ahead and try my best to straighten the trellis without destroying the poor little plants at the bottom. I'm pretty sure these plants are just going straight to seed as it's been warm, and so I think they're just putting on, you know, seed stalks. But I'm seeing broccoli starting to develop, but they're pretty small, and I've never grown it to this maturity before, so I am a little bit naive as far as it comes to what they're actually going to do, but I am excited. Like, if I can get some broccoli heads, that would be fantastic. But the cabbage especially, it looks like it's coming to a head, but now it's kind of like opening up a little bit again, so not quite sure what is going on with that. But I'm just going to plant my summer stuff in and around them, in hopes that when or if they go to seed, I can just pull that out and then have the summer stuff already planted versus having to wait for them to do whatever they're going to do and delay my summer crop. All right, I had to change my shirt because it had images on it that I wasn't super a fan of. I do love that shirt, but it doesn't represent exactly what I stand for. So let's get this going. All right, that's more straight at least. I think that I'll be able to be okay with that. It's because the garden is at a slope, like it slopes downward, and so it was going to be at a slope anyway, but it looked really off. So it's better now, and we're going to go ahead and plant the tomatoes at the bottom of it. Now, I've mentioned before how impactful some of the YouTube creators or content creators, the YouTube channels that I watch, have been to my life and to my even my gardening journey. And I haven't mentioned them up until now, but I really feel like it's important, especially as I go into planting tomatoes. And my method of planting tomatoes, I learned directly from her, so I really feel like it's important to mention her. Her YouTube is Roots and Refuge Farm. Her name is Jessica Sowards. And when I tell you that she has impacted me in so many wonderful and great ways, if you do not follow her or you are interested in anything to do with homesteading, gardening, she does an amazing devotionals. She is the one to follow. She is one of the YouTube channels that I follow consistently, and I get very excited whenever she posts new videos. And her husband, these bugs. Her husband, Jeremiah, his nickname is Maya, he just started up his own YouTube channel as well, which is really good. Just go over and check them out. They are fantastic. I will link them down below as well so that you guys have an easy access to their information. But so what I'm going to be doing when I plant these tomatoes is I put an egg underneath. So I dig the hole, and I'm going to dig it pretty deep. I'm going to step out and get the tomatoes really quickly here. So I have these started tomatoes. Now, with tomatoes, and you're going to learn all of this over on her channel as well, because she is a tomato genius, and she loves growing tomatoes. But the stem has little hairs on it. I don't know if you guys can actually see that. Oh yeah, right here, see? It's got little hairs on it. And if you bury those will actually become roots. So anywhere that the stem contacts the soil, the plant will put down new roots. And so I'm going to bury these right up to the leaves. Now I could probably go even more, but I'm just gonna bury them probably about this much into the soil and leave, the rest of the leaves above the soil. And so whenever I dig the hole, I'm going to put an egg down underneath each of them. And for whatever reason, it makes them grow amazingly. Now, I think it was last year I didn't do that because I started greatly from seed. I just put the seeds right in the soil, and I just did seeds up in the arbor garden. But with the fact that I have a plant, I'm going to be putting the eggs under each plant, and I have an abundance of eggs to be able to do it as well. So God has provided once again everything that I need, and so I'm gonna go ahead and plant these. I forgot to mention, so whenever I got these from the store, they had all of their leaves still. So you can see where I've cut the leaves off. And I did that a couple days ago. I've had these inside and I've been hardening them off, kind of. Not too seriously. I'm pretty sure they were outside whenever I purchased them, so I'm pretty sure have been pretty hardened off. But I just didn't want to take any chances of a low temperature stunting them. But so a couple nights ago, I went ahead and pruned off the bottom leaves. Because I knew that I was going to want to plant them at a certain depth. So that's what I went ahead and did. Now you may have noticed that when I watered right at the soil level. That's because I'm trying to limit the amount of moisture that remains on the leaves as possible. It's because that's how all the mildew... Hold on, I'm getting watered on. Okay. That's how all the mildew and stuff, and the moisture is what makes the mildew and the diseases really be able to grow. Now there are like specific tomato diseases that are very present within growing tomatoes. I'm not sure of all of them, but I do know that keeping the moisture on the leaves down as much as possible helps to eliminate that as much as possible. Now I know I said possible a lot, but that was the reasoning behind watering them at soil level. Now for the rest of the season, are they going to get top watered? Yes, because I do not have any other method and I'm working with what I have, but right now I can water them at soil level, and so I'm going to be doing that. Okay, it is a couple days later. It has been pouring rain and storming for the last couple days. So the sun is out again. It's a little bit bright. I'm sorry about that. But what I'm going to be doing is I am planting yard-long beans along the trellis down here at the entrance of the arbor garden. Now, I had already planted some bean seeds at the base of it, and then I was going to sleep one night and I woke up, or I was thinking, I was just like, I totally planted pole beans at the bottom and not the yard-long beans, the noodle beans. So I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to keep the pole beans there and then just put noodle beans in on top and let them all kind of cover the trellis, or whether I'm going to take those seeds out and put in noodle beans. I'm not sure yet what I'm gonna do. The only thing is with the pole beans is that the Japanese beetles just destroy them. I was not going to plant them this year because they are such a Japanese beetle magnet. But I don't know. I don't really want to. Now that I've put the seeds in the ground, I don't really have the heart to pull them up, so I might just leave them. What do you guys think? Should I leave all of them there? There's going to be a lot of competition for the space, but it is nice. I used some nice like organic potting soil, and there probably is enough nutrition in that soil, but I also have flowers on the outside. What do you guys think I should do? Should I just leave them all there or pull them out and plant the noodle beans? Because the noodle beans are going to give the effect that I want. I don't really have plans on eating the noodle beans just because of the bricks. I didn't really have any plans to eat anything that came out of those two spaces, just because I'm not entirely sure that the bricks aren't going to leach some kind of chemical into the soil, and because of my sensitivities, I just don't even want to risk that, and I don't really want to be feeding that to my family either. So it's really just anything up there is going to be for aesthetics and looks. But I'm gonna go ahead and plant. Now these are ones that I saved from last year, so I'm not even sure that they're going to actually do very much. And I've planted a couple of my volunteer seeds. I planted some cucumber volunteer seeds as well as, well, I guess those bean seeds. And so we'll see what they do. I want them to be, prolific, but I really am not sure whether I saved them in the correct way. I mean, they look okay. I'm gonna see. But, who knows? We're gonna try it. Oh, I forgot to mention, I'm going to be mixing the two. So I have green yard long and purple yard long, and so normally what I do is I just mix them so that I get the effect of both combined, and it's really pretty. So I sowed them pretty densely, as you just saw, because I'm not sure what the germination rate's going to be on them, because I saved the seeds. It's really my first time saving seeds, and so I'm trying to see, I guess I'm trying to just like put as many in there so that I have as good of a possibility of getting the results that I'm looking for. Granted, if none of them germinate, then, well, now I know, I guess. So that is what's going on. I'm really hoping that they germinate, but that is why I sowed them so heavily, and we'll see what they do. Alright guys, that is it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed joining me in the garden, doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and mostly planting. It is that season. I genuinely appreciate you being here, for all the love and support you've been showing me, and I will see you in the next one.